Shalom Chavrim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. And friends, just want a quick reminder before we get into the news here this evening, not going to be too long in the news, that the conference in Pensacola, Florida, which is this Sunday in Pensacola, if you go to our website, israelinewslive.org, you can click right there on the link. Pensacola Conference. It'll give you the details about where the conference actually is. All that's required, it is a $20 entrance fee there, or a well, we'll just call it an entrance fee there. You don't actually get a ticket per se, but we do have all the names recorded of those who are coming. We do have a few seats still available for those that might want to come, that you might be thinking last minute, you live nearby and would like to come. We do have a couple of tickets left for donation as well, for someone that is in a financial hardship that would like to attend but financially cannot make it. And so we do have a couple of those still left as well. But just to give you a quick idea, all you would do is go to the donate part of the of our website here. It takes you right here to where you can donate. It's $20 per person, and may not do it for me because it's our own account. It normally tells me that, but at any rate, you would do that. But then it's going to give you the option after you select the $20 to, if you'd like to make a comment, please put on there Pensacola Conference. If you want to add more, that's fine, but I need to know that it's for the Pensacola Conference there. And that's basically just to help cover the cost of the conference and getting there, etc., because we always have that normally when people register for free, a third of the people don't show up, and then that ends up causing some problems for us on our end there. Also, the conference in Kansas, Shawnee, Kansas is literally where it's at. It's that website is up and running as well. By the way, let me quickly show you Pensacola Conference. If you click on the link here, it shows you right here the Holiday Inn Express. That is a hyperlink. If you click on it, it'll go directly to them. One person was telling me the phone number was not correct. Let me just look at this real quick on their phone number for their site. Let's see, I don't see their phone number. They're showing on their site there, the rooms are $156 a night, but if you tell them you're coming for the conference to Noon Institute or Israeli News Live, if they still have any rooms available, they are $119 a night for the first night. That's for 2 queen beds, and for $99 a night on Sunday night, just in case you're trying to stay there. But that Holiday Inn is should be the near the Pine Forest exit there. Yes, it is. It does show the map on there, how you can get there. Just trying to see. Yeah, it's called the Holiday Inn Express Suites WI-10. That is the name of it. Yeah, that is the number on there that they have too, 944-8442. So if it is a wrong number, it's kind of surprising. The address is on there, 130 Lobley Lane, Pensacola, Florida, just so you'll know where the conference is at. Starts at 12 noon. And believe me, you don't want to miss the starting of this conference, because from the very moment the conference begins, very important information. We will take about an hour-and-a-half break after the third message is delivered there. So that you can grab a little something to eat. There are some restaurants right in there in that area. And then we will complete the evening no later than 8 p.m. We have to be out of the conference room by that time. So I just wanted to kind of give you that idea there. And of course, if you're looking at coming to the Kansas conference, you just type in conference and then .israelinewslive.org. You click on that link there like that, takes you straight to our website there. It tells you exactly the time, days, hours, etc. when the conference starts there. It is December the 2nd. And this site here, you actually can print out a ticket. You can get your tickets on there, print it out. You'll have myself, my wife, and Dr. Steve Pigeon will be speaking. That's a one-day conference as well. We have our Daisy and Laurel, who are the event organizers, that have just done a marvelous job helping us get this put together. But it will be a very packed information of things that are going on. We'll be doing a short video about what this is going to be about in the very near future to add to this website here. but you definitely want to get your tickets now. We do have the capacity for 500 people at this event, so please don't hesitate in reserving your space with this conference as well. Let's get right into the news, guys. A lot of things are going on, and I want to get right to it with you. This particular article that came out on the Business Insider, Russian submarines are showing they can strike deep inside of Europe. They've got the U.S. Navy on edge, according to the Business Insider, and I think that's kind of a pretty bold statement, and no doubt Russia is trying to show that they do have the means to be able to strike anywhere they want, because Russia, according to the article right here, when you scoot on down into the article, it says that Russia actually says long-range caliber cruise missiles are launched by a Russian Navy ship in the eastern Mediterranean. That's what the picture shows there, but Russia was actually launching from I think it's the Caspian Sea, if I'm not mistaken. The land attack version can be fired from subs and surface ships and can carry a 1,000-pound warhead. The target's between 930 miles to 1,200 miles away, according to the CSIS Missile Defense Project. It's said to fly at 65 feet above the sea and at 164 to 492 feet over land. So the missile travels very low, very difficult to detect this missile here. But in this article, they talk about here that a Russian Navy launches caliber cruise missiles from the Caspian Sea at targets over 1,000 miles away in Syria. And just to kind of give you a bird's eye view of that, I took and marked it here on the map. You got the Caspian Sea here. They were firing all the way over here. Now, the country Turkey is like 1,600 miles from point to point. So just imagine, regardless of where they may have been, they were launching that far. So, yes, if Russia is in the Mediterranean, for example, they can hit pretty much anywhere in Europe, even if they're up there by Kaliningrad, their own little parcel of land there in the northern part of Europe. They're also able to hit areas in there. And Russia just, I guess, wanted to flex this muscle a little bit just to show what their capabilities are. This is the map on Business Insider showing just those ranges that they have. Of course, they talk about other capabilities that Russia has, but just showing if their subs were here or if their subs were here. That pretty much covers anywhere except France, biggest part of Germany, if they're just right there in the Black Sea. If they're over here in the Caspian Sea, as they were showing in the other one there, they could definitely hit anywhere in the Ukraine. And they're pretty much in a safe zone right there. So there is a lot of abilities that Russia has. Now, the U.S. has been showing their own flexibility as well, no doubt about it. Another situation that's developing inside of Syria that really kind of bugged me, and I knew this was coming. I said it from the beginning. President Trump really has talked big about being there for the Kurdish people. He's been there for the Kurdish fighters. This beautiful picture here with the Kurdish fighters and U.S. military there. But in this case here, what are they doing? They are leaving Manbij, I think is actually how you pronounce this name here. And very sad situation because not all the Kurds are willing to leave. And what's sad is that Turkey had told the United States, get out or I'm going to invade and kill all these Kurds you have in there. The U.S. at first kind of pretended to be tough and strong. That's the way President Trump seems to do quite often, pretends to be strong, but really in reality he never stands up to the fight. And that is very bothersome to me. I've watched this. I saw this in Afrin. Russia, no different. Russia at one time used to stand with the Kurds. Now Russia doesn't so much because the U.S. has taken the Kurds under their wing. But we see that more and more the U.S. is backing out, taking the Kurds, what will go with them, and they're leaving the area and giving it all over to the Turks. Yeah, so guess what the Turks are going to do? Just like they've done in Afrin, they're going to take and murder the civilian population. They're going to torture them, and they're going to do a whole lot of other evils that is just really a crime against humanity. And while the U.S., when they could have stood their ground with Turkey, is allowing the Turkish government more and more to take over more land. Now, maybe President Trump figures that he'd rather have his troops over on the other side of the Euphrates to safeguard the oil supply that they've managed to capture from the Syrian government, and also allowing the Turks to move in because they're getting ready to take down the country in order to help fight with the Russians. Putin ought to think twice about selling the S-400 system to Turkish officials there, because that would soon be used against his own planes. Moving on over as well, according to the Amman news there, Syrian army launches a big retaliatory attack near Idlib, the buffer zone. That's kind of a little surprise there. The Syrian Arab Army launched a big retaliatory attack in northern countryside of the Hama Governorate today after the jihadist rebels attempted to infiltrate their positions near the Idlib buffer zone. Led by the 4th Division, the Syrian Arab Army began the attack by firing a number of missiles and artillery shells towards the defenses of Jaish al-Izah in the northern countryside of the Hama Governorate. That happens to be on the south side of Idlib, by the way, those of you that would be looking at a map for that. And in fact, we can just kind of zoom that in there just to kind of show you that real fast where this is going on. And not too far either, I might add, from where Israel actually struck against, as they claimed it to be Iranian targets there. Israel was striking in this area right here when the Russian plane went down. And of course, we're looking at Hama, this area right here. You have Idlib, the whole governorate of Idlib. Idlib is right here, but this whole area is what's under the control of the Turkish-backed terrorists in that region. So we kind of go on in over here as well, kind of a little finishing up part here. The Interpol chief, imagine this, Interpol chief Ming Hongwei vanishes on his trip to China. Wow. Can you imagine that? I wonder what this guy has done that the Chinese would like to get a hold of this guy. France has opened an investigation into the disappearance of Ming Hongwei, the Chinese head of International Police Agency Interpol. Now, I'm saying this news now. I looked at this earlier this morning. If they found the guy since then, I did not go back to confer to see if that has happened, but his family have not heard from him since he left Interpol headquarters in French city of Lyon for a trip back to China a week ago. Police sources say he did not disappear in France, a source close to the French inquiry told the AFP news agency. Well, they're saying that, but we don't really know that either. So it may not be the Chinese. It could be that he did disappear in France. But Mr. Ming, 64, is a senior Communist Party official in China. He was elected president of Interpol 2 years ago. The investigation was open after Mr. Ming's wife went to police to report her husband missing. In a statement, Interpol said it was aware of the reports of the alleged disappearance of Mr. Ming. Reuters news agency reports this is a matter for the relevant authorities in both France and China, it is said. Interpol added that the Secretary General, not the President, was in charge of the day-to-day running of the 192-member organization. We have to kind of wait and see how that ends up playing out. Also, Russia is to supply India with 5 S-400 systems. They are defying Washington's sanctions. And of course, we already know that President Trump has said anybody that deals with Russia, they're going to put sanctions on them. So, you know, it's kind of nuts because I do watch President Trump and I realize, okay, maybe he is trying to, as they say, make America great again, but I see him making enemies with everybody in the world, which is only going to come back to bite us in the end. And in reality, he's not allocating any funds to rebuild America. Instead, he's sending all that money overseas. I know he says that he was going to make America great again, but he just decided that he couldn't be outdone by the Chinese recently, so he sent another, million or $1 billion for another aid package to go help another third world country. So much for trying to help America to be great again. That money's being shipped off somewhere else. I know that a lot of people get really upset when I say things like this, but listen to me, friends. You do not, if you knew some of the things that I do know that I can't say as of yet, I will be able to say it soon. Don't you worry. I will be able to say it soon, but I have to wait for certain documents to be filed before I can. But I will let you know as soon as those documents get filed what is really going on. It's no different. President Trump's administration is no different than the rest of them. There is no draining of the swamp. You know, you can go check out, I kind of hinted around a little bit over on Patreon about that, but it's not a draining of the swamp. It's the same business as usual. There is no difference. Anyway, listen, we're getting ready to make a video for Dunoon Institute. Just a fascinating thing that it seems like the Holy Spirit was kind enough to reveal to me today, and I can't wait to share that over with Dunoon Institute. So as soon as we finish up this broadcast, I'll be going right into that as well. So hopefully you'll join us over on Dunoon Institute. It will not be live. It will be preloaded. It won't be a super long message, maybe about 30 minutes there, but I trust it'll be a blessing to you when you get to see it. It'll be an insight like never before. And I think it's going to be, like I said, a real blessing to the people that listen to this broadcast here. Anyway, I'm Stephen Benoon with Israeli News Live. Don't forget, please support the broadcast. Your help in keeping this on the air is greatly appreciated. And we can't thank you enough. And it doesn't have to be large donations. You know, listen, there are a lot of people, they make small donations. Every little bit helps. And we do thank you for that and for your love for us, and appreciate all of that. So I know some of you come here to catch on Shabbat evening like this, a Shabbat live broadcast, but that is basically what I'm doing over on Dunoon Institute. Won't be live, but I think it will be a blessing for you. So definitely tune in with us there in just a little bit. Erev Tov.